Karen stole a vet's dog tags, didn't know he was the county sheriff in plain clothes. What kind of person rips a veteran's dog tags off their neck in broad daylight? In the quiet town of Willow Creek, where folks waved at neighbors and left their doors unlocked, no one expected a storm named Karen to tear through their peaceful park that Tuesday evening. The air was thick with the scent of freshly cut grass, and families were packing up their picnic baskets as the sun dipped low. But Karen, a woman known for her sharp tongue and sharper glares, had other plans. She stormed into the park, her designer sunglasses perched high, her voice already slicing through the calm like a knife. "This place is a disgrace," she shrieked, kicking over a trash can, sending soda cans and paper plates sprawling across the grass. Her target? A modest veterans memorial display set up for the town's annual remembrance event. At its center was a man in a faded flannel shirt, standing quietly by a small table draped with an American flag, a pair of worn dog tags hanging proudly around his neck. Karen zeroed in on him like a hawk. "You're not even a real veteran," she spat, her manicured finger jabbing the air. "Those tags are probably fake, bought off some cheap website." The man, broad-shouldered with a weathered face, didn't flinch. His name was Tom, though Karen didn't bother asking. To her, he was just another prop in her one-woman show of outrage. She'd been on a rampage all week, ever since the town council rejected her petition to replace the park's historic oak tree with a more modern sculpture of her own design. The memorial, she claimed, was an eyesore, a pathetic attempt at patriotism that cluttered her vision of a pristine park. But Tom? He just stood there, his silence infuriating her more. "Give me those," she demanded, lunging forward and yanking the dog tags from his neck with a force that snapped the chain. The crowd gasped as she held them up like a trophy, then tossed them into a muddy puddle with a sneer. "Fraud," she muttered, turning on her heel. The truth about Tom began to unravel the moment Karen turned her back. He wasn't just a veteran. He was the county sheriff, off-duty and in plain clothes, helping set up the memorial for his fallen comrades. Those dog tags? They weren't just metal trinkets, they were his. Earned through 2 tours in Iraq, scarred from shrapnel, and carried as a reminder of brothers lost. The crowd knew it too. Whispers spread like wildfire. "That's Sheriff Tom. She just stole from the sheriff." Karen, oblivious, continued her tirade, now berating a teenage volunteer for ruining the park's aesthetic with memorial flyers. But the atmosphere had shifted. Eyes narrowed. Phones came out recording. And Tom? He calmly picked up his dog tags from the mud, wiped them on his sleeve, and slipped them into his pocket. His badge, tucked discreetly in his flannel, caught the fading sunlight for just a moment. Enter Maria, the twist no one saw coming. A quiet woman in her 60s. She'd been tending to the park's flower beds nearby, her hands caked with soil. Maria wasn't just a gardener, she was a retired military nurse who'd served alongside Tom overseas. She'd seen Karen's type before. Loud, entitled, and allergic to accountability. As Karen ranted, Maria stepped forward, her voice steady but sharp. "You think those tags are fake?" she asked, holding up her own dog tags, still worn proudly after decades. "You think this is a game?" The crowd parted as Maria recounted her service, her voice trembling with emotion as she described carrying wounded soldiers to safety. Karen faltered, her confidence cracking. Maria's words weren't just a rebuke, they were a mirror, forcing Karen to see the weight of her actions. The teenager Karen had been yelling at, now emboldened, chimed in, "My dad's a vet too. You don't get to disrespect them like this." The park, once a stage for Karen's chaos, was now a courtroom, and she was losing. The confrontation hit its peak when Tom finally spoke. His voice was low, measured, but carried the weight of a man who'd seen war and carried its scars. "Ma'am," he said, stepping closer. "Those tags you threw in the mud? They're mine. From Fallujah, 2004. He pulled out his badge, holding it up for all to see. The crowd erupted in murmurs as Karen's face drained of color. "You're under arrest for theft and vandalism," Tom continued, his tone calm but unyielding. Karen stammered, her usual bravado replaced by panic. "You can't do this. I'm a taxpayer. I have rights." But the crowd wasn't having it. A mother holding her toddler shouted, "You don't get to steal from heroes." Others joined in, their voices a chorus of outrage. Karen tried to bolt, but two deputies, who'd been called to the scene, blocked her path. Handcuffs clicked. Phones kept recording. And the memorial banner, torn but still standing, fluttered in the evening breeze. Karen's downfall was as swift as it was brutal. As the deputies led her to their cruiser, the crowd didn't cheer, they mourned. They mourned the disrespect to veterans, to memory, to community. Karen's designer sunglasses fell to the ground, cracked in the dirt. The dog tags, now back around Tom's neck, gleamed with a quiet dignity. Maria, still clutching her own tags, knelt to pick up the scattered flyers, her hands trembling not with fear but with resolve. The teenager, whose name was Jake, helped her, his eyes red but determined. Karen's rampage had torn through the park, but it had also torn open something else. The town's heart, raw and united. By morning, the story had spread across Willow Creek and beyond. Karen's name became synonymous with shame, her actions replayed on social media, her excuses drowned out by the community's response. The Veterans Memorial was restored, stronger than before, with new donations pouring in. Tom didn't need to. He went back to work, his badge and tags a quiet testament to service. Maria and Jake organized a town cleanup, turning the trashed park into a symbol of resilience. The wooden sign, now nailed to the oak tree Karen had despised, bore a new message: honor, not hate. The town had spoken, and Karen's legacy was a lesson in accountability. What do you do when someone tries to tear down what matters most? Willow Creek chose to rebuild, to honor, to stand taller. Karen thought she could bully her way through life, but she didn't count on a sheriff in plain clothes, a nurse with a warrior's heart, or a kid with a hero's spirit. Her story ended in handcuffs, but the town's began anew. What would you have done in that park? Share your thoughts. Where do you draw the line between right and wrong?